At death, does man retain memories of the central circumstances of his acts? I would say that in the old classical conception of theology from Saint Thomas Aquinas, since it was believed that sensual memories disappeared with the death of the brain, it was thought that one came to the other side to be judged with only the deepest spiritual roots of our actions. So our intelligence, which first understood what it had chosen, and in our choices the egoism and pride which was radically present in our choices, or on the contrary generosity, the gift of oneself. For example, if a man during his life sins through lust, the taste of sex for sex sake, and indeed certain material circumstances, these pleasures felt would disappear, since the brain, the sensations, and the memories of these sensations of that person disappeared, according to Saint Thomas Aquinas, but not the selfishness that went along with the soul. The man with lost sensations thinks only of himself, and therefore he is selfish, so he will be judged accordingly. Obviously, that's not how it occurs at all. The experiences close to death invalidate Saint Thomas Aquinas' reasoning, upon which he philosophised, because it seems logical. If the brain disappears, so do the sensations of sensual memories, and so too do the memories disappear. Obviously, as Saint Augustine said, and rightly thought much earlier from experiences close to death, that the deceased person brings with them their feelings, their imagination, and their memories. Philosophical contribution to the service of the faith, that man, when he arrives at death, he conserves all the circumstances of the acts that he has committed, not just the deep and general intentions, but the sensual circumstances that he remembers perfectly. And that's something fantastic when you think about it, because our actions, which are not just purely spiritual, we are not angels and are not reduced to our deep intentions, they integrate all the circumstances that surrounded them, such as the perfume, for example, that he smelled during such acts, which is also part of what may have conditioned our acts. Everything must therefore be remembered for an individual judgment to be fair. Man must be judged within all the circumstances of his acts. Therefore, we can say the biological body may no longer be present, yes, but the biological body is precisely the area which is not conscious. This is the area wherein acts are done automatically. We currently digest and we are unaware of this, so the loss of the biological body, which is a loss of a part of our being, does not influence our deep choices and judgment in relation to our deep choices and their circumstances. The loss of this biological body serves rather to learn the humility, the fragility of our being. But losing the sensual memories would indeed be a terrible amputation in what constitutes the depths of the human being, a spiritual being and a sensual being in both his human and spiritual acts.